So what has the Dana Holgorsen addition done to your game prep routine?
Well, you have to go off what you see on tape. Obviously, watching some Houston stuff, what were they good at? What did they do there that they already do at Nebraska? And then, what was his staples where, in a span of 2 weeks that he could incorporate in that scheme.
Have you ever been in a situation like this where, an outside hire comes in?
I have not. It's been an inside hire before, but not an outside. So this is the first. So
how much do you lean on Lincoln's knowledge of Dana Holgorsen at all in that? Trying to anticipate.
Definitely in talks with him, and also in Coach Belk. He was his coordinator for a handful of years. So just as far as just knowing, just his philosophy, tendencies, personality-wise, I don't know anything about him.
How much time has it added to your week, to your prep?
It adds some time. It adds some times at night. Some late nights, but you have to cover all your P's and Q's.
How much do you imagine things can really change with an offense from someone coming in?
You don't really know. That's why you want to see how much of what they're doing were they already doing when he was the head coach, so he could just add on to that. Is there anything that he did that's different that we think that they could incorporate in a span of 2 weeks? You can't change too much, but you can definitely change some stuff over a bye.
What were some of just the staples that you observed, his time at Houston, that you noticed some similarities between, what Nebraska likes to do that you feel you guys can kind of game plan?
There is a few things, we're keeping that stuff in staff, but there are some things that we think that we'll be able to take advantage of.
What have you seen from Dylan Raiola on film?
He can make just about every throw. He has some very, very impressive throws for a true freshman. He does a great job seeing the field. When he scrambles to extend plays, his eyes are always downfield. So for a DB and even the backers, plastering is going to be huge. The play's never over.
Dan, what do you make of just kind of how this current recruiting class is shaping up for you guys? What would you like to add anything more before signing day? Or what's your confidence level in this class right now?
Very confident with the kids that we have, and off the top of my head, don't know how many spots we have left, but however many spots we have, we just want to get the best right guys for our program.
When the former OC has more of a pro style scheme, and then you go to a guy who's from a leech tree, more air raid, how do you kind of prep for both schemes in that sense?
We see some of it from our offense, which is nice, but it's tough to prepare for both. That's why you have to try and pick, all right, what's he going to do from his scheme? What's he going to keep from theirs? It's kind of a guessing game. At the end of the day, you have to go out there and just execute the call that's called.
So in that sense, in-game adjustments are probably going to be key.
Oh, huge. Yeah, huge.
This team needs 2 more wins to reach bowl eligibility. How big of a goal is that now that you're looking down the course of this season, and how important would it be to have those extra practices, especially given the amount of young guys on defense?
Huge, just from a development standpoint, seeing some of the growth of the kids who just started to play. I want to keep that going as long as possible.
In general, how has NIL changed defensive recruiting?
I can't answer that accurately just because I wasn't in college without NIL, so I don't know as much. I know just from when I was being recruited, it's changed drastically. That wasn't even part of the conversation. Whereas now, a lot of times that's the main part of the conversation.
What did the bye week do for some of the lingering injuries in the secondary and whatnot?
It gave guys extra time to recover. Having that week was huge for us.
Ohio State had 13 tackles for loss against Nebraska. What can you take from the way that they attacked the offensive front?
They did a great job attacking their offensive line. So, we need to be on attack mode. We need to make sure we know what the situation is when we can, but definitely being on attack mode.
And how much of a priority has it been in this particular cycle to try and bring in kids who can, affect the pocket from the interior, affect the pocket from the edge, develop some of those pass rush?
It's been huge. That's something that we don't just want. We don't just want starters at those positions. We want depth, and we want young depth that we can grow, develop, and we want to be able to play multiple guys at those spots.
Any of the young guys on defense you think have particularly benefited from having the bye, having an extra week of reps?
Yeah, I think guys like Cam Fountain, I think guys like Dez, those are guys that have been playing, but again, just over the bye week, especially with some of the older guys that banged up, they got a lot of reps in practice. That was probably the most reps that they've gotten, and I'm just impressed. At this point in time, you still just see them get better each week.
do one more.
You get to coach against Jaden in practice. I'm curious from your defensive point of view, what threats does he have when going against defense?
He has a very strong arm, can make any throw. He extends plays, so his legs can be an issue. You know, he's definitely hit a couple big runs against us on defense. So I'm excited to see what he does out there.